Good afternoon, friends. INTAC, Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage, an non-governmental organization established in 1984 with the objective of conserving heritage in this country, and which is also now a part of International National Trust Organization, INTO, has been carrying out this work for past many years. In Aurangabad, INTAC was founded by our late convener, Colonel Modak. Subsequently, Dr. Morvanchikar has been carrying out the various activities, and for last 2 years now, I have been given this responsibility. It is firmly believed, and INTAC puts in a lot of effort in this belief, that awareness is the first step to conservation. Because unless people are aware of their heritage, unless the people like and love their heritage, unless they want it to continue, there is no point in conserving it. So the first step to a successful conservation of any kind of heritage, to create awareness about it. Today we are here to listen to various speakers on a topic which is very close to the heart of this city. The topic is historical water distribution systems, with a special reference to Nahars of Aurangabad. All of us have heard about Nahar-e-Amri, Panchakki, Thatte Haud, the 3 Nahars which are still functional. But many of us do not know that there were more than 8 Nahars which brought water to this city, and this city once upon a time thrived, grew and sustained the growth based on this very robust water distribution system. For last 400 years, without any maintenance, without any kind of intervention, it's been functioning, but it may not continue to function for always. At some stage, some level of intervention, some level of maintenance or conservation would be required. But more than that, it's very important to showcase this water distribution system, which is such a rich heritage that this city has, to the visitors, to the citizens of this city, so that they feel proud that we, the citizens of this town, have such a rich heritage amongst us. And it is for this purpose, awareness building, that this workshop has been organized. We have some very distinguished speakers, amongst them Dr. Priyalin Singh from Delhi School of Planning and Architecture, who's done a lot of good work in conservation of medieval gardens, and along with that their water distribution systems. We also have Dr. Morvanchikar, Khalid Ahmed, a passionate person who's actually documented all these Nahars over many years, many decades, but not only Nahars, he's documented all the historical monuments in the city. We have Dr. Bhalge, who will speak on engineering aspects of the Nahars and the water distribution system. And we also have Mr. Veerbhadra Rao, who will speak on the maintenance of Thatte Haud. The ASI has been maintaining this, and he'll speak on various problems, challenges, and their experience in doing this. So with these few words, I welcome you all to this very important workshop on conservation of a very important mention. I forgot because he's almost become one of us now. So we kind of take him for granted, and I have been telling him that since he came here yesterday. We also have amongst us a very dear friend, the convener of Belgium chapter of INTAC, Mr. Geert Robrecht. He was here year before last, he was here last year, and he's also amongst us today for this important workshop. In fact, one of the reasons why we chose this date was because he's here, and we are into discussion for taking up certain very important projects. Maybe it's our initiative which is lacking to a certain extent, but this time we intend to correct that so that we can see something concrete on the ground. So we have amongst us Geert Robrecht, and you will have opportunity to listen to him also. So with these few words, and after welcoming you, may I request, today we have a very distinguished person amongst us, Dr. Madhav Chitale, who's retired as Secretary, Water Resource Ministry, Government of India, who's worked on many important positions, not only national but international, but more important than anything else, who was awarded the very prestigious Stockholm Water Prize in 1993. He's been chairman of Indian National Committee on Large Dams. He's been vice president of International Water Resources Association. He was member of the United Nations Environment Programme's Water Advisory Committee. He was board member on the World Water Congress, World Water Council, to name a few amongst many positions that he's held. I'll not take any further time. Most of you know Dr. Chitale very well. And when in China, I was so shocked to see that most, at least large cities in China look straight out of Manhattan. All the buildings are exact replicas of what you see in Manhattan. Whereas China has such strong architectural styles, I don't know whether these architectural or features or buildings are relevant to Chinese environment or weather, but it looks completely out of place and one feels sad about such things. We have amongst us not only the Revenue Commissioner but also the Municipal Commissioner of Aurangabad, Shri Dilip Band. I think by now every single citizen in Aurangabad knows him very well. No other commissioner made his imprint on a town so quickly in first 3 days. I have been a resident of this town since 1960, and there were structures which we thought were part of this town and will always continue to be part of this town. Encroachments on roads and all that is cleaned up. And I think we cannot thank him enough for the cleanup job that he has done in the past 10-15 days. I would take this opportunity to welcome our guests. I would request Dr. Morvanchikar to welcome them with floral bouquets. Dr. Morvanchikar, Shri Dilip Band. I would request Gate Robresh Madhav Chitale. Dr. Chitale is very busy and we were really happy when he accepted our invitation. We have had a very productive and fruitful cooperation with Aurangabad Municipal Corporation. I consider myself very lucky that whenever we have gone to corporation with any proposal, they have, welcomed it. On some of them, they could act immediately. On others, there were, problems because of various systems that they have to follow, various approvals, etc. But with the help of corporation, in last 1 year, we have been able to complete conservation on 5 gates, and 5 more are in pipeline. Only work orders are to be issued. Corporation has also, submitted various proposals to central government, and one of them was for development of a tourism circuit around Aurangabad city. Specifically because World Heritage sites like Ellora Ajanta get lot of funding, lot of attention from international agencies, central government, ASI, but it is the city through which all the tourists transit which actually does not get adequate attention. And there are so many important monuments within the city which have been neglected in the past. Now, I think with Intax and corporations, efforts, some of them at least look beautiful. And hopefully in coming years, we can, do something about the rest of them. But more importantly, as part of this 25 crore proposal that was sent to the central government, 5 crore were earmarked for conservation. And one of the items under conservation was Nahar-e-Amri or Nahars of Aurangabad, which happens to be the subject matter of today's workshop. The first known aqueduct which brought water to a city was built for the city of Segovia in Spain. This was built by Romans in 100 AD and brought water from 10 miles away. And on the way it actually spanned a half-mile valley where 2-tiered bridge was built with arches, and it still functions today. It's an important heritage for Spain, but equally important is our 8 Nahars, the heritage which these 8 Nahars constitute. And we really hope, because they are underground, they are not, they have not spanned any valley, they have not been seen, that they are forgotten. But while they are, underground, 3 of them are still servicing the city: the Thatte Haud, the Panchakki Nahar, and the Nahar Amri. And the others, with a little effort, can be rejuvenated or made active again. And one wishes that there was a interpretation center somewhere in the city, preferably near the purification tank of Nahar Amri, where we could actually show these systems to the tourists or visitors who come to this city, and they will also be then able to appreciate what rich heritage this city has, which still functions. I don't know how to classify this, whether it's a living heritage or a built heritage, So I think it's a built and living heritage, let's say. So, I think a part of it comes under corporation, a very major chunk of it comes under corporation, but a lot of it also falls in the district, because these nahars are 8-12 kilometers long. But fortunately, we have Shri Dilip Band, who's not only divisional commissioner, so as commissioner he, not only controls Aurangabad district, but the whole of Marathwada, and as corporation commissioner he controls corporation, hopefully with his help and with the help of various government departments. If not in near future, at least at some point in future, we will be able to do something concrete about it. In fact, sometime back, maybe in the month of December, Khalid was with me, and many of our active members and some of the architects were with us, and we tried to track Nahar Amri back to Joban Hills. And that time we saw many of these hills, including some part of Joban Hill, has already been, cut away for quarrying. And all these reservoirs are hidden, as Mr. Rao said, and you're not really sure where they are, and it's very easy to damage them, through ignorance. Then also, most of these nahars pass through private property, through farms and through various, and many people have actually dug wells into these nahars. Now, such, either through ignorance or through malicious intent, or selfish intent, let's say, not malicious, such acts can obviously damage the nahar, and maybe one day it becomes dysfunctional. So any effort to conserve or any, expenditure of resources would come to nothing in case we are not protecting the source. And this is one of the challenges, and that's where I mentioned in the morning when I was talking about or introducing Dr. Band, Mr. Band. It's very important that not only corporation, but also the district authorities get involved, because all these properties fall in the district jurisdiction, and the collector of Aurangabad will have to actually identify each individual property survey number and give them a notice telling them that such and such, monument or, important thing passes through their land, and it's their responsibility to not do anything which might damage it. And on top of that, also, do some kind of, give some kind of protection to the Joban Hills area, so that these underground, tanks are not damaged. So I think it's a very relevant suggestion, and all these are challenges. So it was possible to maybe preserve it, and it's been also located, and people have actually gone inside and seen it. But I think the reservoir under Joban Hills, nobody has seen it yet, and nobody knows where it is. People have tried, like Khaled and many others, tried to track it, but I don't think the location is exactly known. So one of the challenges will be to actually map the Nahar right to the source, and mark it there and then protect it. Fantastic, fantastic. Mr. Band, very important. He made a comment that the listed monuments in Aurangabad are just 150, and this list we know was prepared for a High Court petition that we filed through INTAC, and it was done in a hurry. And it by no means covers all the monuments or important monuments that we need to protect. And it's very important that we do listing of all the important, historically important monuments in this city, and document them and extend protection which is now available through the heritage regulations that have been adopted, and through the heritage committee that has been constituted. So I think these are the steps that are necessary. Listing, then getting that list approved from the corporation, then sending it to the state government, getting it approved from the state government, so that the protection becomes available. And since heritage committee or heritage regulations only apply to the city, something more will have to be done to protect these nahers, because they are outside the boundaries of municipal corporation. So maybe the state archaeology may have to be involved in that. I would like to respond to those. One was social responsibility. There was perhaps in olden days some way of giving this responsibility through legal means, in the sense the Gram Panchayat or whichever was the local self-government actually gave this legal authority or responsibility to certain sections of society to maintain those lakes or whatever. Today I think this is not possible. Under the new regime or the current regime, no legal authority or responsibility can ever come to society. But there is one way we can own all these monuments and systems, and that's through our love and affection for them. I think if that sense of responsibility comes through the love, then you own it. And once you own it, you want to preserve it, and then you will do anything that's possible, either through the government channels or through whatever other means to protect it. And that has what has impelled the local chapter to, fight the court battle, get the orders for the heritage committee, and we have won it to a certain extent. We have lost some, won some, but I think it's this social, sense of belongingness and sense of ownership of these assets, which we feel the whole city owns in a way, although they may not have legal rights. That is, I think, the driving force which will finally protect these monuments. The other aspect was taking this information which has been collected to the public. I had already written to all the speakers, that kindly send your presentations and any more information that you might have. The INTACH chapter intends to come out with a booklet or a book, depending on the amount of information that is there, on the nahers of Aurangabad, and we'll publish it with photographs and illustrations and whatever information we have, and it will be made available to people at large. So idea is to take this information to every citizen who's interested in it. I think with these words, let's conclude. We have had a fairly long session, and I must thank all the enthusiastic members of INTACH who have assembled today afternoon. It's a working day, it was afternoon, working hours, and in spite of that, I was very happy to see the numbers that gathered here. I must also thank the press. They came in good number and they have covered the event, I think, adequately. And we must also ensure that it appears in media, because that's another way of creating awareness in the city. So I thank all of you for being here. I especially thank all our speakers for taking the special effort to prepare their presentations and, sharing their knowledge and experience with us. And I thank GIT for being with us, and Dr. Morvanchikar for always being a guide. Somebody has to be felicitated. Who? GIT, of course. May I request Priyalin, on behalf of all of us, to do the honors and offer a bouquet to a dear friend to see very often in Aurangabad. He's already promised that he'll be here again in January. So thank you again, and here we conclude our workshop today. Thank you very much.